Hello, and welcome to Trauma Informed Practices. I'm Dr. Lindsey Pollock, LCSW. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, and I'm also the provost at Sarasota University, the Montessori University. After spending many years, over 3 decades, in both public and private schools, I'm now serving as the provost at Sarasota University. It's my distinct pleasure and honor to be presenting to you for the Childhood Potential Conference. Today, we will be talking about trauma-informed practices for the Montessori prepared environment, specifically for those of you who are working with infants and toddlers. Thank you for taking time out of your busy days to be with me today. It's my hope that by the end of our session, you'll leave with tips and techniques to further your practice. Dr. Maria Montessori said, "The tiny child's absorbent mind finds all its nutriment in its surroundings. Here it has to locate itself and build itself up from what it takes in. Especially at the beginning of life, must we, therefore, make the environment as interesting and as attractive as we can." The work that you are doing with infants and toddlers will last the rest of their lives. I applaud you for your dedication to very young children and know how much your practice means to you. A Montessori prepared environment is not only the external objects and furniture and materials that we often think of, it's you too as the prepared adult. A Montessori prepared environment for infants and toddlers is a calm, organized space that encourages independent learning and exploration. It's designed to be a safe, clean, and stimulating environment with a variety of activities and materials. A Montessori prepared adult for infants and toddlers is a carer who has the specific knowledge and skills to create a carefully structured and supportive environment where young children can explore and learn independently in a safe, calm, and gentle space where adults actively observe and guide infant and toddler development with patience and respect for their natural curiosity. Creating a trauma-informed Montessori classroom is incredibly important for promoting the social and emotional health of children. In such a setting, children are provided not just with educational tools, but with an environment that supports their overall well-being, acknowledging their experiences and fostering resilience. Today, we will be exploring why it's critical and how it contributes to better long-term outcomes for children. As we prepare for the rest of this session, I'd like for us to take a moment to find that calm space within before we proceed. As we prepare, please place your feet on the floor and find a comfortable posture. For me, that is with my shoulders back and my hands resting on my lap, palms up. I invite you to soften your gaze and, if you're comfortable, to rest your eyelids for this exercise. We are going to practice square breathing. There's 4 steps to square breathing. Breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold. Each of those steps is a count of 4. We breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, and hold for 4. We'll cycle through these steps 4 times. Okay, get your body ready. Let's begin. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. 2 more times. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Last one. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. I invite you to open your eyes and join me. And remember how this might feel in your mind and your body as we have taken not even a minute to calm ourselves. This is a free and readily available technique for you to use anywhere that might feel out of control. That might be at the beginning of the day, might be at the end of the day, it might be at the grocery store. It's an opportunity to oxygenate your brain and your body. When our minds and bodies have adequate oxygen, we are better prepared to make decisions in a more measured and well thought through way. Remember, oxygen is important to your body. So take deep breaths and remember to use the square breathing technique. Understanding trauma-informed practices is important in education because a trauma-informed approach to education recognizes that children may have experienced adverse events or chronic stress that can impact their brain development, emotional regulation, and behavior. One tool that you might consider using is the Adverse Childhood Experiences Scale, or ACEs. ACEs is a survey that asks about previous experiences and can be used to inventory traumatic events that may have happened to children between the ages of 0 and 17. ACEs can include stressors such as homelessness, poverty, food insecurity, violence, abuse, neglect, witnessing violence, either in the home or in the community, the death of a family member, or the attempt to die by suicide, growing up in a family with mental health or substance abuse in the home. We know that Dr. Montessori was very aware of the impact of trauma on the children she worked with, as she described the impact of war, children who had been orphaned and left on the streets or institutionalized, and the associated stressors of food insecurity. The impact of trauma on the developing brain may also be captured in her work, The Absorbent Mind. The absorbent mind describes a child's ability to take in information through their environment and their experiences by using their own mental muscles. This ability begins from the moment of birth and lasts until the age of about 6. This occurs in the first plane of development and is divided into two. From ages 0 to 3, a child is considered an unconscious, or some would say subconscious. From the ages 3 to 6, the child absorbs information in a more conscious manner. ACEs, or adverse child experiences, can have lasting negative impacts on health and well-being. Adverse childhood experiences can negatively impact educational outcomes and job opportunities. ACEs can be linked to chronic health problems, mental illness, and substance misuse in adulthood. So you see how important it is to create a trauma-informed approach in your infant, toddler, early childhood classroom. Trauma-informed approach can be used at all age levels, and it's especially important to recognize the long-term impact of intervention and support at early ages. The QR code on this slide will take you to the CDC, or the Center for Disease Control in the United States, website, where it will provide you many resources, including the ACEs inventory for your review. Understanding trauma-informed practices is important in our work as educators. Recognizing signs of trauma or stress is essential in our work with young children. This includes potentially withdrawal, lack of appetite, aggression, inability to self regulate, anxiety, or difficulty. It's important to create a sense of safety, including emotional and physical safety, which are the foundations of a trauma informed environment. This includes routines, clear expectations, and spaces where children feel secure. This includes empathy and validation, as teachers acknowledge the child's feelings without judgment, validating their experiences while helping them manage and express emotions. I don't know about you, but there have been times when I've overheard an adult say to a child, "Oh, come on now, it's not that serious. You don't need to cry about that. Why are you making such a big deal about it?" In such a situation, a child may feel unheard and unseen. Expressing empathy and validation for a child's feelings helps them feel seen and validated. From there, we can help them manage their emotions. In a supportive environment, relationships are positive and trusting relationships are essential. Children thrive where they feel seen, heard, and respected by the adults in their lives. How do you recognize when the children in your care are feeling stressed, are feeling calm? Please take a writing instrument, and for the next minute, we will write down the indicators that we monitor when we believe a child is feeling stressed or feeling calm. I encourage you to practice observation with your colleagues in your classroom and to compare your lists of stressors and calm to see if you agree on the observed behaviors. Do children exhibit the same behaviors when they're stressed, when they're calm? How do we support and meet children where they are and ensure that they have what they need to navigate and self regulate? Montessori education is sometimes called a trauma informed approach to education. There are at least 5 reasons that I think Montessori is a trauma informed approach. These include: first, autonomy and agency. Children are given the freedom to make choices, which fosters a sense of control, independence, and self esteem. This is especially crucial for children who may have experienced a loss of control in their lives due to trauma. In a Montessori environment, we respect the whole child. Montessori education emphasizes the development of the child's mind, body, and spirit. Guides focus on meeting the individual needs of each child, whether the need is academic, emotional, or social. Our prepared environment, including us as prepared adults, are thoughtfully designed to support learning and emotional growth. Our materials are engaging, and the physical space is ordered, calm, and predictable, which creates a sense of stability and safety. Additionally, our Montessori classrooms encourage stable, long term relationships with our multi age groups. Ideally, our children stay with us for 3 years at a time. And finally, we have a focus on community. Social development is woven into the Montessori philosophy. Children learn to work together, support one another, and resolve conflicts peacefully, which fosters a sense of belonging and emotional regulation. A safe environment, both emotionally and physically, is critical for children who may have experienced trauma. Trauma can impact a child's ability to trust others, regulate their emotions, and form healthy relationships. In a Montessori classroom that is trauma informed, we work to build trust with each child. We create a calm, welcoming environment and encourage emotional expression. This includes Social emotional learning, where children are taught to identify, express, and manage their emotions through role playing, resolution, and mindfulness practices. Consistent routines and clear expectations help children feel safe and reduces anxiety by providing a safe and predictable environment. Knowing what to expect and having routines that are calming and structured can support a child's emotional stability. And healing relationships through positive interactions with teachers and peers help children heal. Montessori guides are trained to build strong, supportive relationships with each child, fostering guidance and love that fosters trust. Encouraging this emotional expression and self regulation is essential to a healing relationship. And going back to our ACEs inventory, I also think it's important to point out that not everyone reacts to an event in the same way. One person may witness or experience something, and because of their personality or previous experience or other protective factors, does not have a long term traumatic experience in that moment. Whereas someone else in that same situation may carry that event with them and be deeply wounded by that interaction. It's important to remember that if an individual reports that an incident or experience was traumatic, it was traumatic for that individual. There's not a trauma verifier or scale to say whether or not someone's experience is traumatic. It's important to believe and acknowledge the individual's experience and to meet that child where they are. As guides in the Montessori classroom, we have the opportunity to model and teach emotional regulation, to foster a growth mindset, and to provide individual accommodations tailored for each child. Again, as an adult in the Montessori environment, we are part of the prepared experience for our children. It's important to recognize that when we walk into the classroom, we are bringing ourselves and we have a choice as to what we bring with us. I work very hard when interacting with children and families, whether it's in a therapy session or going to work at school, to check my baggage at the door so that I'm not carrying with me stressors that may negatively impact my interactions with others. This is a practice and does not happen overnight. It's important for us to remind ourselves of this practice and to do our best to mitigate any negative baggage or other that might impact the children with whom we work. That doesn't mean we're not human beings. We are. But it's important to monitor the way that it's impacting our interactions and our work at school. One strategy that you might consider in your Montessori classroom is a calming corner for your room. This is different than a peace table where children might mediate differences. A peaceful spot to relax is a space that children self-select in order to self-regulate, to relax, and to start to identify and manage those big emotions that they may be experiencing. You can change out the elements in your calming space. You might consider soft pillows, calming colors, soothing scents for the children in your classroom. Remember that this is a self-selected space in the room where children may go if they are feeling overwhelmed. Some other elements to consider are sensory items such as headphones to block out noise, Play-Doh, fidget toys, art supplies, kaleidoscopes, snow globes, books with pictures about feelings or other calming images. You may have a chart or even a tablet with breathing techniques preloaded. There might even be songs, a little recording for children to listen to, as songs about feelings or calming music. One teacher that I observed had a small mirror in her calming corner for children to look into the mirror, practice different faces, and name the different faces. So it can, again, be a proactive activity location specifically for children working to express and manage their emotions. It can help children regain their composure before becoming overwhelmed or consumed by big emotions. Another element to consider is including nature in your routines with young children. You may ask yourself, how does spending time in nature contribute to your sense of calmness? There's been a lot of research that finds outdoor spaces are calming for adults and elementary, high school children. And recent research has found that newborns can also benefit from nature in the similar ways reported and attributed to older age groups. Additionally, aspects of nature may be able to facilitate the acquisition of certain skills which older people have already developed. I like to tell the story of observing a infant toddler classroom in Sweden where the guides took the toddlers out walking to a public park. And upon arriving at the public park, spread the blankets out where the children laid down to take their nap. Now, of course, in certain parts of the country, we have to think about crawling insects or mosquitoes. But if this is a practice that's available to you, I highly encourage you to consider spending time in nature. The research tells us that the acquisition of sensory skills for infants greatly benefit from early experiences in nature. Infants have the ability to experience and organize all different forms of sensory information, and even seemingly simple experiences like touching grass can be a very complex sensory experience for them. Research by Fantasia in 2021 found that the experiences of observation in nature build the neural connection within infants' brains that can go on to shape their view of the world around them. Their study also found that being in nature activates all five of the senses and can be a way to build sensory skills in fine and gross motor skills. Their study also found that infants who saw their caregivers interact with nature were more likely to interact with nature themselves. Interacting with your newborn or toddler in nature will help promote these skills in a comfortable and fun way. Additionally, experience in nature can also help develop communication skills in infants. Infants experience relationships through observing and often imitating the behaviors of others. So, as you're in the natural environment, speaking out loud to your infant about what you're seeing and hearing in nature can help them build their own communication skills. Infants are more likely to vocalize in outdoor settings. This is research by Fantasia in 2021. Music is also a great calming technique. I encourage you to create a calming playlist with songs that help you unwind and relax. You can turn it on whenever you need a moment of tranquility, or you can have it going throughout the day. And I found this great resource that has both the audio and video. This resource is on YouTube, and it plays calming music for children while showing calming images of bubbles floating past. So if you have a screen in your classroom where this might be appropriate, you could try it with your children, perhaps during times of transition, like morning drop off or at the end of the day when children start to feel more anxious. as things become less predictable. For example, when parents are picking up at different times, even very young children can sense the change in the room and may start to feel agitated. Children normalize with emotionally regulated adults, creating safety in the child's nervous system. Remember that co-regulation is part of our work as the adults interacting with children. Meditation or deep breathing exercises are easily accessible and cultivate calmness. As we experienced earlier today, the 4x4 breathing is something that we can implement at any time, in any circumstance, whether we're sitting in traffic or waiting in line at the grocery store or rocking a child to sleep. We can practice our deep breathing exercises and oxygenate our own brains at the same time. Practicing calmness in challenging moments throughout the day is very important. Babies may come in hungry, tired, and stressed. Parents who are having a hard morning unknowingly and unwittingly can pass that stressful energy to their babies, and the baby comes to us feeling unsettled and stressed. Additionally, we may have colleagues who may be experiencing stressors in the moment and who might also be carrying the weight of their own ACEs. Remembering to practice self-care and self-regulation, as well as supporting our colleagues, are practical steps to creating a trauma-informed Montessori classroom. There are many daily habits and routines that can help us maintain a sense of calmness throughout the day. These include building trust with each child, making time for one-on-one interactions, and being consistent and offering encouragement throughout the day. Create a calm, welcoming environment. Use soft lighting, calming colors, and flexible seating to foster comfort. Encourage emotional expression. Incorporate mindfulness activity or discussions about feelings in the daily routine. This may include a finger play, a song, a rhyme, a smile, or a silly song with a baby to help them feel safe, secure, and happy. By modeling and teaching emotional regulation, we use the Montessori philosophy of practical life exercises, including deep breathing and guided meditation, to teach emotional management. We foster a growth mindset to encourage children to view mistakes as opportunities for learning and to persist despite challenges. And we provide individual accommodations for the children in our care. Some children may need a little more time to eat their lunch or navigate the materials. They may need specific support to feel comfortable in the classroom. Remember to adjust expectations and accommodations as necessary. The long-term benefits of a trauma-informed Montessori classroom include not just short-term success, but long-term, lifelong development, including emotional regulation. We know that children who feel safe and supported can develop better self-control and coping mechanisms, which are crucial for success in school and later in life. Our children will have stronger social skills because by learning to navigate conflicts, communicate feelings, and collaborate, children develop strong interpersonal skills that serve them in personal and professional relationships throughout their lives. When children's emotional and social needs are met, they are better able to focus, engage, and learn, which contribute to academic success. A supportive environment can even help children overcome challenges that may have hindered their academic performance in the past. And finally, a trauma-informed Montessori classroom helps build resilience in children. They learn to overcome adversity, embrace challenges, and develop the skills to bounce back from difficult situations. In the words of Dr. Maria Montessori, the first 2 years are important forever because in that period, one passes from being nothing into being something. A few resources that you might consider sharing with parents include the Absorbent Mind, the Montessori Baby, the Montessori Toddler, and the Complete Montessori Method. Remember, the more consistency and predictability that a child has in their environments, the more safe and secure the child will feel. Therefore, working together with parents to create environments that are Montessori aligned at home will help the child at school as well. I've included here a few video resources that I have found helpful. You can find them on YouTube. They include the quiet classroom music for children with calming sensory bubbles. We saw that on the earlier slide. Creating a joyful toddler classroom, fussy newborns and colic, and how to teach self-regulation to toddlers. I encourage you to also look at some of the research about self-government, which is an approach to self-regulation and helping children find that calm space within. Thank you so much for spending time with me learning about trauma-informed Montessori prepared environment. You can find me at Sarasota University. I am the provost there, and I would be delighted to hear from you and to support you in your journey as a Montessori guide. Lindsey.Pollock@sarasotauniversity.edu. Thank you again for your commitment to shaping the lives today and for the rest of the lives of your infants and toddlers with whom you work. The children are counting on you. Thank you so much for making a difference and making our world a better place. Take care.